All right. How do we handle trust, jealousy, and boundaries?
Real comfortable here.
Now it's getting to get good. You'd like that. There you go. One extra one. There we go.
We're back.
You got to start them off with fun. Shoot. I don't know where we ended up on the last one.
I'm sure it was
Left
probably
and right,
I
up
am
and
right
down.
and you were wrong.
That's probably, yeah, you know that hysterical, not hysterical, that delusion you like to have there. I do know you asked the last question, so I actually get that paper because I was going, no, don't look at it. Stop it.
Why are you yelling?
Because I saw you trying to peek at it. That's the whole point of this thing, that we don't know what the questions are.
Yeah, we don't
so that
know.
So that these are just actual conversations that are just recorded, so they're not prepped or anything.
No, so if we say something, this is all our opinion. We're going to say stuff that people don't agree with.
Hey, that's fine with us. You don't agree with it, write it down in the bottom. Let's talk about it in the comments. We're all good with that.
Subscribe.
That actually makes it more fun anyway, so we can have some commentary back and forth. Because these are questions that we don't know these questions, because these are questions that were either sent or that were culled or pulled from some people reaching out.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was pulled off of a list, typed into a question, and cut up, I don't know, about a month and a half ago.
Yeah,
and
probably.
I didn't even read the questions then, because I don't want to know what the questions are. So, because I like it better when we're not prepped like some podcast that's prepped to have a conversation. So
Yes, but if you do like what we do,
yeah,
what we have to say, what we talk about, what we teach, you can work with us one-on-one or with a group in one of our shift groups. So
look at that good eye contact.
reach
into the
out.
camera. Are you looking down the lens, or are you looking at the?
You know, I'm looking at that.
Yeah, you gotta look down the lens. The eyes are in the lens. You gotta look in the lens. The eye is where you meet the eyes. See that? Yeah, I be coming up with stuff. All right, you ready for a question?
Hit me with it.
All right. How do we handle trust, jealousy, and boundaries?
Oh.
I'm glad you got this one.
How do we handle trust, jealousy, and boundaries?
Yes.
I think
Are those three of the same things?
I feel like trust and jealousy can go hand in hand.
Yeah, but the boundary one
I think boundaries is slightly different.
Yeah.
And it depends on what it means. Does that mean boundaries within your relationship? Because if that's in terms of trust or jealousy, does that boundaries piece mean with other people?
Yeah.
You know, how your partner, you interact with other people.
Okay, got you.
You know, so if that's trust and jealousy, is the boundaries is on there mean, you know, our boundaries is that you don't, you know, drive in a car with someone of the opposite sex alone or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if that's what that means, but I would sort of take it as that what that means in the context of that question. What are the relationship boundaries?
Well, let's go with that then.
Okay. So how do we handle trust, jealousy,
and boundaries
in a relationship as the relationship? Maybe.
Yeah.
So I said I feel like trust and jealousy can go hand in hand.
Okay.
Because if there are some trust issues or there's some jealousy, one can beget the other, right? If there's some jealousy, that might make some of the trust deteriorate.
Okay.
And maybe if the trust isn't there, maybe that can make the jealousy, you know, trend upward.
Are trust and jealousy directly proportionate?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Do you think so?
I don't know. In the way you were just describing it, it sounded like it was, though.
No, I'm saying like I think that it can if those things are there. But also jealousy could be, hey, you're spending a lot of time with the girls or the guys and I haven't seen you. I feel like I haven't seen you all week. Right? There could be some jealousy of that too.
Gotcha, because that jealousy is not directly related to trust.
Right.
Trust issues. I get you.
Right.
I get you. That's a good example.
Right.
Because I wasn't thinking about that line, so that's a good example. Okay.
Yeah, so that could be that way.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I definitely wasn't thinking about it like that. So yeah.
You were thinking the way that they go, like, would it go hand in hand?
Yeah, because I was thinking about trust and jealousy directly related to, do I trust you with other women or trust you with other men? Not I trust you, but I'm jealous because you spend all your time with your friends or your mom or something and not with me type of thing.
Right.
So, yeah.
So depending on what your personal boundaries are, I think that would be how you handle. I have to sneeze.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and talk through it. There you
Excuse
go.
me.
That's
How
quality,
you
high
handle
end right there.
right. How you handle trust and jealousy, because you can also have a trust issue of, do I trust you, alone with your device?
Mm.
If our boundary
Which these
is
days is just as bad.
right, if our boundary is um not watching pornography and things like that, and maybe there's a history of that, do I trust that you're gonna like honor that?
You can trust me with my device right now. I'm gonna go ahead and pop on my phone because I feel air coming out of this vent, and that's a no. That's a no. That's
So
a
you're gonna
no.
turn the Nest on?
Yeah,
Good.
because I don't want any cold air blowing on me. It's 40 degrees outside,
So
and the sun's going down.
so boundaries,
Franco ain't about that.
depending on what your boundaries are, could help lessen the jealousy and increase the trust.
Okay.
Um and I like that's like in context of relationships, because I know some people have boundaries where you don't have someone of the opposite sex in the car with you, like
Yeah.
alone, just the two of you alone. For us, that's not really that's never been a
Nothing.
point of contention, but there's also no history of infidelity or potential infidelity. And
Right.
sometimes when that's the case, those boundaries have to change.
Right. Well, and that was one of the questions I was kind of thinking of when it starts out with trust and jealousy. What are the origin of those two?
Like, where do they pop up in a relationship?
Well, maybe, but what's the origin of those two in that the question as it's asked? You started
Yeah.
out with trust and jealousy before you even got to boundaries, and just the order along that makes me think. What was it again? How do you deal with?
Yeah. How do you handle or something like
Like,
that?
how do we handle trust, jealousy? And I'm kind of altogether. This question makes me.
Makes me think that there's
What do you
maybe been
handle?
some
What do you mean?
behaviors that
Yeah.
have
What do you
been
mean
less.
handle?
Yeah.
Handle.
Or maybe
Handle
it's like, how do we
intimates to me
rebuild
that
trust? And
yeah, because the whole idea of handle intimates to me that there's some history of something that we now have to deal with.
yeah.
And I don't know if it's inside of a previous relationship that isn't even this one and you're bringing the baggage in, or are we talking about something that's happened in this relationship and it's in this relationship, so now we have to deal with trust and jealousy? The idea of trust and jealousy can come from so many different origins, so many different places. Do you have to handle trust and jealousy if something has happened in a relationship you had before the relationship you're in now? Because that question would be different. How do we handle trust, jealousy, and boundaries? Well, have you gone through the personal work and done the personal stuff to figure out what happened in that previous relationship, how it has affected you long term, what you're carrying into this relationship,
Right.
and how you need to approach this relationship from that trust perspective of being able to trust and be vulnerable with somebody? That's a lot different approach than were you in a relationship and she cheated on you or they cheated on you and now, or not even that far, they just lied to you.
Yeah.
They just lied to you, and that's a big no-no for you. And now you have to deal with the trust loss because they lied to you.
Mm-hmm.
The answers are very different,
Right.
because the scenarios are very different. And the idea that the word is handle versus how do we discuss,
Mm-hmm.
I would take differently. That seems to have a different connotation to me. How do I approach has a different connotation to me.
Right.
How do I handle? How do I manually manipulate this trust, jealousy, boundary issue? And that might be me overthinking it. That's just me thinking it the way I think about it. But
It sounds like, how do we, in the context of that question, it sounds like, how do we rebuild those
yeah,
things? How do we put some parameters on our relationship,
yeah,
aka boundaries on our relationship,
yeah.
to help that trust is increased and jealousy is decreased, or that we
Or
don't.
vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, trust is increased and jealousy is
So,
decreased.
no, I got you. So that trust is increased.
Yeah. So
Okay,
that
not
we
that trust is
increase
increased.
trust
Yeah, I got
and
you.
decrease
I
some
got
of
you.
that jealousy.
Yeah, I got you. Yep.
But I think that like having boundaries and protecting your relationship is very important.
I think regardless of where you are on the handle, trust, jealousy thing,
Mhm.
you should have some boundaries.
Yeah, because some of that stuff can come from, like, let's look in the context of like intimate partner relationships. So not even dating, intimate partner relationships where you have, kids and they're taking up a lot of your time and one of you is feeling neglected,
Yeah, which
right?
is realistic.
And that could be like, oh, I'm jealous of our kids,
Right, which is legitimate.
because they get his or her attention before I do,
Yeah,
or they get the best parts of them and then I just get what's left over, if any.
yeah,
So it can be in a lot of different contexts, but protecting your relationship and making you and your partner, or you and your partner making the relationship the priority,
yeah.
because kids will grow up and kids will launch. Hopefully that's the plan,
That's the plan, and then
right?
they leave you there.
Right. And then what is your relationship without these kids?
Right.
Also, it's like, even taking that a step further, it's what sort of relationship do you want to like portray or model for your children?
Yeah,
But like boundaries are important.
yeah.
I'm trying to think of like what's one of the boundaries like we have in our relationship.
We are boundaryless.
That is
No,
not true.
that's not true at all. I just said that out loud, but please don't believe that. Please don't believe that.
Well, I know one thing that we do is on Friday when I don't see clients, you don't schedule meetings.
Yeah.
And that's something that
I'm
we've
very-
called as our protected time.
Yep.
Now, we are often running errands.
Right, but it's still
And-
together and it's still
yeah.
protected, and
Right.
there are no meetings or something that's going to be scheduled on that time. And if I have to put it on, sometimes I put it on my calendar as a meeting, just so it doesn't
Yeah.
get a meeting scheduled on it. But yeah, that's
So that's like one of the ways that we prioritize
Yeah.
that, even if it's just, like I said, like running errands and checking things off of our list, or,
Yeah.
riding with me to an appointment, or riding with you, to a meeting or
Yeah.
something like that.
I've sometimes wondered if your doctors think I'm just some overprotected husband who just
Yeah,
tries
I'm
to be-
certain they do. With 100% certainty.
They'd be like, is
They
he
do.
at this meeting? Why
Not
is
that
he
I'm
at
going to like a
doctor's
bunch of
appointment?
doctor's appointments,
Right.
but yeah, I'm certain that
Why is he here?
that they do. Yeah, and I'm like, because I schedule my appointments on Fridays.
Right,
and
'cause
that's
it's our
the day we
protected
hang
time
out
together.
together.
It's our
It's
hangout.
the day we hang out
You know,
together.
we can have a good amount of time sitting in the back of the doctor's office just cracking jokes. So,
Right. So, but that's a boundary that we have on our
Yeah.
relationship, that we try not, we like do our best
Yeah.
within reason, like not to schedule other
Yeah.
things, on that day. As far as like trust and jealousy, I mean, you're a musician and I'm not always with you when you're at gigs or whatever. And
Yep.
that's something that like I have joked, just remember who you go home to
Mm-hmm,
at
Mhm.
night.
mm-hmm.
And you on the stage is not you, like in
not how I
person.
am
Like
at home.
it is. What's that?
No, it is me, but it's not like how I am at home. I'm not
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's
So
up,
it's a
San
different-
Diego? Like,
Right. It's a different, like that's a different person.
Yeah.
That's you working.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as far as is trust, like if you have those things and those parameters in place and you've talked about those things, then I think it's easier that trust is there. But also like when trust is broken, because it seems like this question, trust
it
is perhaps
seems like
broken.
some trust was broken. Yeah.
Trust is rebuilt through, in my opinion, verified
Stop saying that.
experiences over time.
There's a podcast
I didn't get that
for
from
your
me. Like
company.
somebody else told that to me.
What, in your
So-
opinion?
No, the verified experiences over time. Trust
Okay.
is rebuilt through verified experiences over time. And that can be something as simple as, are you like, as not simple, but like, are you where you say
You're going to be.
you're going to be?
Yeah.
Right. So if trust has been broken in you, which is lying,
Mm-hmm.
like you weren't where you said you were going to be,
Mm-hmm.
then the way to rebuild that is through transparency. And maybe that means you share locations on your phone.
Right.
Right. And this person has your password for your phone. And
I wonder if that would
things like
actually
that.
fall in boundaries for us. Is that a boundary or trust? You can get in all my email, all my telephones, all my stuff. I can get in all your emails, all your telephones, all your stuff. Whatever.
Yeah.
Like, good luck. We're both boring as crap. But
We are so boring.
Look, I love me a boring life. You hear me? Some boring love, boring life. We can crack jokes all day
Right.
long.
So
Drama
our
free.
trust is that
But
like
it's,
I'm not
yeah.
hiding
So that
anything
falls more under the
from you.
trust and boundary. Although for
Yeah, I
some
think
people
so
that
because
might be a
that's never
boundary,
been.
like I want to have access to
Yeah,
your
that's
stuff.
never been a boundary that we've needed to have, in place.
Yeah.
Because trust is there that I don't like. You're not getting in my email, but also nothing's happening in my email that you couldn't
Good
like
luck.
put your eyes on.
While you're in there, could you delete me from some email lists?
Please unsubscribe
I don't
me.
know how I ended up on Coldwater Creek's email list, but I don't shop there.
Yeah, so verified experiences over time.
Yeah.
So once trust has been broken, and maybe it's been broken because of like some jealousy stuff. Jealousy is often because you're not treating your partner like you treat other people.
Hence the kids, hence the friends. And once
Right.
again, jealousy not only being romantic jealousy.
No, it doesn't have
It
to
could be
mean
time
that.
jealousy or
Yeah.
attention jealousy or
Right. It doesn't mean that I'm jealous because you're speaking to another woman.
yeah.
Like it could just mean like, hey, you've been, in your office or and you're on your laptop a
Which
lot.
you've done before.
So
Yeah,
and
which
I've
you've done
asked
before.
like, hey, can you when can you be done with this? Or when can you be off of this?
Yeah.
You've been spending a lot of time on it. We haven't seen you a lot.
Yeah.
What does that look like? Yeah, so verified experiences could be like, are you where you say you are?
Mm-hmm.
It could be having those past, because the phone is like a big one that creates a lot of distrust
You said
in
the phone?
relationships. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because so much of life happens
On that phone.
on the phone. And I hear a lot too, like, well, we were spending time together, but like sitting on the couch and like we're trying to watch something and you scrolling on your phone.
I was about to ask if it's more the phone or how often people are connected to that phone.
Because people are I said like so much
Yeah.
of our life happens
Because
on the phone.
Well, it's that, and what I'm thinking of is that thing, for example, the example you were just using where people are sitting there and they're sitting on the couch and they have to pick up their phone. So they can't make it through a 30-minute television show, which is why TV sucks now, because they know you can't make it through a 30-minute television show. So they make it boring and dumb enough so that if you are distracted, you can still understand what's going on. Because I still contend in Tracker, he hasn't done anything special to find any of these people. But
also, you're one that when we're watching TV will immediately grab your phone and
if I'm bored out of my mind,
even when not.
Let's
How often are you?
Let's put on a show. Let's put on a show I really want to watch.
Tell the people how many times you look at IMDb when you're watching TV.
Oh, all the time.
There you have it.
But why do I want to? Why do I? No. Why do I want to look at IMDb? Why do I want to look at IMDb? Because I'm watching a story that is not capturing my attention. So I turn on the IMDb because I'm like, I know this actor from somewhere. I want to know where I know him from. But if you put me in front of,
I can tell you're trying to justify because
no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I want you to understand what I'm saying. So, for example,
well, then you should
for example, por ejemplo, we just when I was just watching what was the movie? I'm trying to remember who. Chloe Zhao's the wrong person, but the movie Materialist and Past Lives. You weren't awake with me when I was watching that. Very well shot, very well made, very well written, very well acted, very well graded, very great soundtrack. I watched both of those movies the same morning. I didn't look at my phone once.
Are you sure there wasn't a part of you that said, how tall is that actor?
I guarantee you there was a point.
That happened.
Because in one of the movies he talked about he got an extension. He was talking about how they started out the movie talking about getting a plastic surgery to get taller. And then I was, how tall was he really in real life? Yeah, I seriously thought about it. But you know why I didn't switch away? Because the movie was actually quality. There were things to look at, things to understand, because my mind works and my mind rolls. And I am a creative person who wants that in-depth thing. Most of the television program is so lackluster. No, we're not getting off track. We're talking about boundaries, trust, and jealousy. And it's so lackluster that stop telling me to wrap up. You're going to make this longer. Because I get jealous that I can't watch good programming because you have your issue where your heart just gets going. So all we can watch are these comedies that are whack. But anyway, talking about trust, jealousy, and boundaries.
But you don't have to say something mean about me in the middle of there.
No, what was I saying
Like,
mean?
well, I can't watch stuff because your
Well,
heart
I
rate.
wasn't trying to say it in a mean way, but your heart rate gets up and you have that anxiety and that anxiousness.
Yeah, my heart.
So
Yeah, my
there's things
fight
that
or flight kicks in.
yeah, your fight, flight, or fawn kicks in, and
Freeze.
and freeze. And they're that, for example, you talk about things that are differences between us and issues.
Oh, we're drastically different in that way.
There is a very
drastically
big
different in that way.
difference between what we want to view and desire in entertainment. But if I want to watch something I'd want to watch, I have to watch it when you're not around.
Most of the stuff.
Yeah, so if I
most of
actually
the
want to
stuff.
be around you, that means that what I'm watching on TV or we're doing as entertainment usually gets pared down to something that really isn't very entertaining to me. So yeah, I pick up the phone like crazy because it just doesn't do anything for me.
This
But
isn't even close to the question that
yes,
we
it
started
is.
out at.
Because I think it's important to understand that
One
the
of our
boundary,
boundaries in relationships are that, like, I cannot watch television that are like psychological thrillers
yeah,
or a bunch of killing or anything like that.
and
Like, literally, my Apple Watch will be like, yo, your
your
heart rate
is
is
up.
high. And then I'm like laying in bed, like, for months.
For months, thinking about something that was on TV, and then you reference it, and I'm like, oh yeah, actor such and such, yeah, that scene was shot really well. I love the angle that they used in the soundtrack there, and you're like, I just remember the murder. I'm like, sorry.
Yeah.
But my boundary is I am not allowed to sing before 8 a.m. Or I have to go to the
House boundary.
or I have to go down to the basement or someplace where you can have your
boundaries, no singing before 8 a.m. Saved our marriage. Saved our marriage.
Saved our marriage, saved our life.
Yeah.
But so that thing though, when people are picking up their phone, is that thing where you're sitting right next to them and they pick up their phone, but you're supposed to be in the middle of a conversation. Or you're supposed to be doing something together and you're like, phone. And it's that disconnect that phone gets so much more attention than the person sitting next to you.
Yeah, and if there's been some sort of issue or transgression that has happened that involves the phone, which most of our lives
there
involve
has
the
been
phone.
a large proliferation of porn issues on telephones and
dating apps.
And
yeah.
or even let's just talk about being present. Just the fact that
Mhm.
somebody will be sitting there and you're trying to have a conversation with them and they're on their phone texting a friend. Once again, that leads back into that jealousy of why is this friend getting this time when I'm sitting right here with you in human form
Yeah.
and we're having a conversation. It's something different if the conversation is just, you're just having a loose conversation at the moment versus having a real serious conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are times, it's not to say you can never do it, but if you're supposed to be engaged in that conversation in that moment, engage in that conversation in that moment.
So if you want to rebuild trust and minimize jealousy, like, boundaries are a necessary thing, and communication around those things is so important.
Yeah.
Like I said, even in long-term intimate partner relationships, conversations on those things are so important. Like when I'm working with a couple and I say, like, so when, like, one of you is going to leave the other one, like, what happens? Is there, a kiss goodbye when you come into the house? Is there a kiss hello or something?
Yeah.
Like that, some acknowledgement? Are you hanging with the kids first before you find your partner to see where they're at? And one thing that I encourage is make that be your ritual of coming and going.
Yeah.
It's good for you two to stay connected that way, or however many people are in your relationship. And it's good for your children to see you
do
that way.
Yeah.
Right. And it helps the two of you have just these, like, little, like, slivers of time that are connection points.
Yeah.
And sometimes we can't take 30 minutes. Sometimes I tell people, like, my rule of 3 is like a 30-minute every day, like a 30-minute conversation, a 3-minute hug, and a 30-second kiss. But sometimes
why can't we have a 3-minute kiss and a 30-second hug?
There isn't. I'm moving on.
Why? Physical intimacy is my love language.
There
I want the
isn't.
3-minute kiss.
There isn't time maybe for a 30-minute conversation unless you're being intentional and cognizant about carving out that time.
30 minutes consecutive?
I mean, preferably consecutive.
Okay. And text is not included.
I think like a face-to-face or like a real-time conversation. A
Okay.
real-time conversation.
Yeah, phone calls
Or
allowed if
yeah, or I like voice texts,
Oops.
right? So you're
Yep.
hearing your partner's voice and they're able to hear that the tone in your voice, the nature, the pressure of which you're talking so that we're not filling in those blanks
Yeah.
on our own.
Yeah.
Those things help to rebuild that trust.
Okay. I think we often think about boundaries as it relates to somebody else.
Hmm.
It's also good to remember boundaries for self.
Boundaries
Even
are self things.
I mean, there's self things, but we think about, okay, we're going to manage time, so we're going to protect time with each other. But that time, me protecting time with you, is a me and you thing. For
Hmm.
example, dumb boundary I have. I told you about this. Seems dumb, but I think it's big. Ooh,
Ugh.
excuse me, hot chocolate. All right. My bad. But anytime I have a group text with anybody, we have several group texts with several different friends and family members and whatever. Whatever group text you're in, your name always goes first.
Yeah, you said that.
Your name always, I don't care who it's with. It's
Yeah.
going to be your name first and then everybody else. And it might seem like a dumb boundary or a dumb rule, but it's there just to remember and to remind, like, you're first in my life.
Yeah, and that's
And
something that I
you
don't
don't care
even.
about, you don't even think about it. I'm probably last on one of your lists, but
You were like annoyed because you weren't like in my top 5 of my favorites on my phone. And I had to be like listed in random order.
don't care. I'm not random. I'm number one. But yeah.
It's like these people have been in these spots for a long time.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I usurped them. But but no, just the idea that sometimes the boundary you need to place also is for you to
Right.
do that only you will ever know, only you will ever see, but it's for your purpose, for your sake.
Yeah, boundaries are for the person who's implementing them,
Yeah.
not for other people.
Yep. And
Yeah.
then if that trust and jealousy stuff is from past, you definitely have to handle that out with like a therapist.
Right, and communication with your partner too is a big key. And if you don't communicate, well, like see someone to help you learn to communicate.
Yeah.
Most things are just miscommunications
Mm-hmm.
or things that we don't want to talk about or haven't brought up because we think like, well, I don't want to bring them up because things are good. Well, if you're not bringing something up because things are good,
It
things
ain't that
aren't that
good.
good.
Nah, it ain't that good.
Yeah, they're not that good.
Ain't that good.
And most things can be prevented through communication.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So
Oh, cool.
there's my thing, how to handle trust,
Trust
jealousy, and
and
boundaries.
boundaries. It's after 8 p.m. or 8 a.m.
After 8 a.m.
It's dark outside. It's closer to
We
8
should
p.m.
have it like also like 8 p.m. for
Nah, homie. You get one side of the 12. That's it.
Anyways, good to see you all. Join us next time. Real comfortable here.
Now it's getting to get good.